Go back to your husband, Tia. There's nobody out there, and I can guarantee you that one day, if you continue this charade, he will find somebody else, and he will marry that person. And that woman is going to be, that woman, your kids are going to call that woman mom. You're not going to be happy with that. You're going to be very upset because you're going to realize that you made a mistake. I really, truly believe you'll realize you made a mistake. You left this man because you were bored, or you felt like he wasn't giving you all the love that you needed and intimacy.
For millions of black women, many blessed with brains and beauty, finding the right man is proving elusive. But why?
Why do we have such low marital rates? And I'm not talking about black women marrying black men. I'm talking about men of all race wanting or desiring to marry a black woman.
Single, black, and female. Well, research shows more and more young women of color are having trouble finding that special someone to marry.
Why is it that black women appear to be undesirable when it comes to marriage?
All over, conversations are being had about why black women are not getting married. According to research, black American women are the least likely race of women in America to be married. This is a phenomenon. This is a problem. Marriage presents so many benefits, and black women, we are losing out. Why aren't black women getting married? I think I've come up with the answer, and I put it all together in my digital ebook. Marriage is for black women too. In this ebook, you will learn why I believe black women are not married, the benefits of marriage for black women, what God says about marriage, and ultimately what we can do as black women to not only get married, but to stay married. At the end of the book, I have discussion questions for you, your girlfriends, your small group, your church can look at and review so you can reflect on everything that you read. I believe that you're going to get a lot out of this book and maybe some answers that you did not know about why the black woman's marriage rate is so low. For black women out there that want to be married, have hope. It can happen. Get the ebook to see how you can get married and improve your chances. Please click the link in the description box to get your copy today. Tia Mowry, oh my goodness. I am the most disappointed in her because she literally left her marriage for nothing. No one still knows why she left her marriage, and maybe it's none of our business, but it wasn't for adultery. She confirmed that. And she herself, like her sister, were seen as good girls. They were if you're a millennial and you remember Sister, they were never vulgar. They were Christian. I remember an interview, hopefully if I can find it, I'll put it up, but I remember them talking about how they wanted to save themselves for marriage and all kinds of stuff. They were a positive example. I never looked at them as a bad example for black women. I looked at them as one of the good ones. Modest, God-loving, family-oriented, both married. But then something changed. I don't know what changed. We don't know. But something changed, and Tia literally uprooted her family for selfishness. She said she graduated.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. Mm-hmm. So that's basically, how I'm looking at it now. And I feel like people when they look at marriage, that success equals longevity. But no, at the end of the day, are they happy?
She graduated, she left her husband of like 15 years, which is 100 years in Hollywood times. I don't know, clearly the devil, but I don't know who influenced her, what influenced her, if she just had more single friends, if she had a whole bunch of unhappy married friends. I don't know, but something changed and made her say that her personal happiness was more important than keeping her family together. Knowing statistically that divorce hurts children. You're divorcing your husband for what reason? This is not good because black women are the most likely race of women to be divorced. Not only are we the most likely race of women to not be married in America, but we're also the most likely race of women to get a divorce, to divorce. That's terrible. So when you have people like a Tia Mowry, people who are good girls in the media who represent black women well, and then she goes and just leaves her family so she can date and find love elsewhere. I really think it just doesn't make sense. And I think she will look back at this time and wish she never left her husband. Apparently, she's promoting a documentary or going to be doing a documentary post-divorce.
It may sound cliche, but time truly does have a way of soothing pain. Someday, I believe I'll be able to look back on this time with nothing but warmth and gratitude for the beautiful children brought into my life and the stronger version of myself that emerged from the experience.
And talking about that, she's been on different podcasts and interviews talking about how terrible dating is. She couldn't wait to be single and get out in the dating market. That seems to be the first thing she did.
How hard is it in the dating world now?
Oh my God.
What is it like out there for a single woman?
Shot of tequila? No. No,
I've been single for 5 years, so I don't know what this world is like out there. But I know it. But from what I see and from what I hear, it is tough.
It is very tough. I will say I've only been in the dating world for, I want to say 3 months now, and it is exhausting.
It's exhausting.
I want to throw the towel in. I'm like, what is wrong with and I will say this.
Okay.
Someone had told me, and I wanted to be like, no, I disagree with you, and I don't want to believe it. They were like, because my last relationship when dating was, when I was, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer, present, meaning like people just don't court each other anymore. And this person was like, well, that's old news. Like people just don't do that anymore. There's just this whole new way of doing things. And I'm like, you mentioned tradition, and I think that's where it kind of needs to go back to.
It seems like she just got bored with her husband, was influenced by feminists around her or ideology. Of course, it's Hollywood, right? So she was there, and she was like, you know what? I want to try something new. I want to try something different. And unfortunately, because she's a woman, she gets a pass because, a lot of women agree with her. A lot of women are happy that she's like, I'm about my personal happiness. Again, marriage is not about personal happiness. It's about glory. It's about raising godly offsprings from a Christian standpoint, and it's a duty. It's about stability. It's about children. You're going to have children in any other institution outside of marriage, it's going to end in disaster. But our culture has become so individualized that it's only about what makes us happy.
I am the main character. I have dominion. I am kingdom.
It's not about duty. It's not about the principle. It's not about honoring God. It's not about, that's why when you become a Christian, the Bible says to die to yourself, that you have to die to your flesh and take your cross daily. As a Christian, you're not going to always want to do what God is calling you to do. You're not always going to have great times and, get this car and do this and do that. There's going to be ups and downs. The Bible says those who endure to the end shall be saved. So it's all about, the Christian walk is also about enduring. And enduring is building up your strength. But instead, we run away from what we see as hard. And then you have 2 young children, like Tia had 2 young children, and you're going to uproot their whole life. And it's 2 different sides. I'm seeing people who are congratulating her, mostly women. Congratulations, Tia. It's about your happiness. It's about your love. It's about what you want. And then I'm also seeing another section of people saying that she looks desperate, saying that she looks like she looks like a wife. She needs to be a wife. Like, it's all, again, kind of like with Chloe Bailey. Real recognizes real. But I just feel like people can see through it. A lot of people and a lot of celebrities think that they're putting on a mask and fooling people, but not really. There are people who can see and discern through the madness, through the mask. Tia, go back to your husband before someone else gets him.
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
It's always funny because have you ever noticed that when a breakup occurs or a marriage ends, the man is usually the one that gets remarried first or goes out with somebody else first before the woman. Because unfortunately, people don't want to hear this, but the older you are as a woman, it's hard to find someone that wants you because you're stuck in your ways a lot of times. And also, she's very successful. I will post a study. It's an actual study that says high-earning women have a hard time finding their equals. So they have to date down. They have to date someone that's not making as much money as them. But that doesn't mean they'll be happy because they'll be the man in the relationship. So she is a high-earning woman. So a man has to be okay with the fact that she's making lots of money and that she already has children. That's another thing that sometimes doesn't always work in your favor as a woman. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not saying she won't find somebody else, but why does she need to find somebody else? Go back to your husband. Show black women and black people, the world, about, restoration. How leaving and going out into the sunset and thinking you're going to find another man when you already have a decent man at home. I wasn't in the marriage. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying both of them confirmed it was nothing abusive and there was no cheating. Some other people said, well, Tia had to support him all this time and blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Corey to me does not look like the type of man that is going to just not work and let this woman just, do everything. He looks like the type of man to just go out and get it done. And it's unfortunate that now the children have to grow up in a broken home because Tia want to have a hot girl summer. And it's not working because she continues to complain about how she can't find anybody to be with.
She's got a point.
Listen, I've had many times in my marriage where I'm like, my husband's not doing this and doing that and blah, blah, blah. I'm not leaving my husband and ruining my family and uprooting my children's lives and uprooting my life because of a fleeting feeling. Feelings aren't always facts. And my duty is to make sure my children are raised in a godly home and that they will have stability in their lives. And statistically and biblically, stability comes from having a 2-parent married home. And I don't know if you've noticed, but ever since Tia has left her marriage, that's all she seems to talk about is dating. All she seems to talk about, she's coming out with a documentary about being divorced. Corey hasn't said much about it. Recently, a video came out where he was a little bit sad and he was talking about it, but it's been about 2 years since it happened, and he's never really talked about it. But yet Tia is milking it. Now she's using this divorce that she caused on purpose to get money and to, show the world how being a strong...
You're a victim.
No, a strong woman isn't someone that gives up easily. A strong woman isn't someone that says, I just graduated from marriage because I just felt like I need to put myself first. That stuff sounds like new age philosophy. I'm a god and I need to focus on me and it's all about me. Nothing sounds like a Christian. And the reason why I keep saying that, first of all, it's a Christian channel, so I'm going to have that perspective. But also Tia and her sister, very well-known Christians in the industry. Nothing about the Christian life is about just being happy and getting what you want. Prosperity teachers promise that. People who abuse the word promise that. Jesus said, in this world you will have hard times, but I'm with you. If I had to suffer, Jesus said, if I had to suffer, you're going to have to suffer. And now you're suffering even more from your own stuff because you can't even find, you're talking about I'm dating men with grills now and I'm dating, I'm having a hard time with dating and all this stuff.
I have entered the dating scene and I thought that as I take off my makeup, I would share some of my horror stories. This date with this one guy, we decided to meet at a restaurant. And I was like, okay, fine, let's try that. What could go wrong? Now, mind you, I did know what this person looked like beforehand. Oh my God, I'm getting PTSD just telling this story. This is my life. So So he ends up showing up, and he's a lot shorter than I thought that he was gonna be, which was pretty interesting, but you know, no judgment here. But what was surprising to me was he ended up showing up with a grill in his mouth to a dinner.
And I'm like, girl, just go back to your husband. Corey seems like the type of guy that would probably forgive you. He's like, okay. But you're going to drag this out so long to where it's going to be too late, and he'll find somebody else and move on while you're still out here looking. You denied your children stability so you can go and play around. And it's selfish. And it doesn't look good as a black woman because that's not you.